I didn't grow up in a house with guns. I don't hunt. I personally abhor hunting. But I was given a gun by a friend when I was 21 to carry in my purse for self-defense, and I was taught how to use it. A couple of years ago, my parents and I went to a cafeteria in Texas on a bright sunny day. We weren't in a dark alley where we weren't supposed to be. And as you all know the story, this madman drove his truck through the window. And he began shooting. Well, immediately, my father and I got down on the floor and put the table up in front of us. When I finally realized what was occurring, I thought, I got him. And I reached for my purse. He was maybe 12 feet away. You know, is it possible my gun could have jammed? Sure. Is it possible I could have missed? Sure. But I can tell you I've hit much smaller targets at much greater distances. But then I realized that a couple of months earlier I had made the stupidest decision of my life. I took my gun out of my purse and left it in my car. Because as you well know, in the state of Texas, it's sometimes a felony offense to carry a gun in your purse. My father at that point said, I've got to do something. I've got to do something. He's going to kill everybody in here. And he rushed the man. No way. Guy turned, shot him in the chest. He went down, was obviously mortally wounded. When I saw what looked like an opportunity to escape, I turned around and I grabbed my mother by the shirt and I said, come on, we've got to run, we've got to get out of here. And then my feet grew wings and I was out the back window. As soon as I got out, I realized that my mother had not followed me out. And as I learned from the police officers, she had crawled over to where my father was and cradled him until the guy got back around to her, put the gun to her head. She looked up at him, put her head down, and he pulled the trigger. My parents had just had their 47th wedding anniversary. She wasn't going anywhere. As I mentioned, I'm not really mad at the guy that did this. And I'm certainly not mad at the guns that did this. They didn't walk in there by themselves and pull their own triggers. The guy that did it was a lunatic. That's like being mad at a rabid dog. I'm mad at my legislators for legislating me out of the right to protect myself and my family. I would much rather be sitting in jail with a felony offense on my head and have my parents alive. I've been sitting here getting more and more fed up with all of this talk about these pieces of machinery having no legitimate sporting purpose, no legitimate hunting purpose. People, that is not the point of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is not about duck hunting. And I know I'm not going to make very many friends saying this, but it's about our right, all of our rights to be able to protect ourselves from all of you guys up there.
So, look, what I have to say about this, and that is a harrowing story. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. I'm a staunch believer in the Second Amendment. I'm a staunch believer in the Second Amendment because the Second Amendment is for everyone in this country. Man, woman, black, white, etc. It doesn't matter. The Second Amendment is for you to protect yourself. And it is the height of hypocrisy for all of these people in Washington, D.C., as the lady says in the video, her legislators legislated her way out of a way to protect and defend herself when she was faced with a madman. And it is the height of hypocrisy for these people to pass these laws that restrict your Second Amendment rights as an American citizen while they are guarded with taxpayer money, by the way, with security guards and police officers and private security, et cetera, that protect them with the same kinds of weapons that they want to keep you from having. So even though that video is obviously old, I think it's something from the 80s or something like that, you want to think about how relevant that video from the 80s and that woman's story still is to this very day, when there are people that are trying to pass laws that legislate you out of the right to defend yourself. Because that Second Amendment, just like it's my right, it is your right as well.